Yesterday, I got a question from one of my clients, and I find it really amazing because he asked, when I am addicted to something and I break an addiction, what can I do after that? With what kind of other thing I can replace it? So he said, when I remove something from my life and I break that cycle, what should I do in that in between gap? And I believe that that's the most important question to ask yourself, especially when you are breaking big cycle of addictions in your life. And this is what I want to teach you today, because most of the people are actually stuck. They don't know what to do and with what they can replace bad habits. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about when we break a cycle, when we want to remove one habit from our life, what we can do in order to replace that with something different and just moving forward. So I got a question from my client. So he said, I am addicted to smoking, and when I remove that, I feel that something is missing, and I don't know what to do with that time. I don't know what to do with the habit. I don't know what to do, especially with the habitual behavior, because we are never ever addicted to the object, because objects are changing. So we are thinking in our mind that we are addicted to objects, but we are actually addicted to thought and to feeling that we have. So we are creating, we have ourselves in our memory, in our past. We can see ourselves, let's say, as a smoker. And in that point, we are connecting that with definition. So this is the picture of me. I can see the picture, and this is the definition of that. I'm smoking. And that picture actually creates emotion. When that emotion is embodied in our nervous system, in our gut, our body started to produce the actions. So our actions starts to be habitual, and our body is just moving into that direction. You don't need to do nothing else. So you imagine that in your mind, and that's the first step. So when he was thinking about smoking, he already got the cigarette in his mouth without him being aware of that. And that's the best thing ever to understand. If I now tell you not to think, and I say the word, I say car, I say lemon, you have a picture of that word in your mind. And this is how everything is created. Before he was able to take that cigarette and actually physically do that, he already knows that he done that. And now he is aware of that story. And he's discussing with himself. So we are blindly walking. He is walking outside, grabbing a cigarette with awareness. And he is arguing with himself. So he's saying himself, why are you doing that? He's beating his ego. That voice is actually leading him toward that action. Do that, don't do that. You should do that, you should not do that. You feel good with that, you don't feel good with that. And that's what's happening with everything. That's why confusion is happening. Because we can't be anywhere else except here and now. And it's not weird that we are confused, because we are connecting that with our past. And we see ourselves doing that in our future. So our reality and what is happening here and now, which in this time, he can only make a decision, it's irrelevant. Because he's daydreaming, he is sleeping. So what we can do with that, how he can actually replace that with what? Because don't forget, every habit will be replaced with some other habit. So what's the best thing to do? It's to ask yourself, what do you really want? What do you really truly want? What do you really truly care about? What do you want to do in your life? What do you love? And it's not a lot of people who are asking themselves that question. What is it that you really want? And I talked so many times in my previous videos how to set up the goal. Because if awareness brings you, when you're aware of habit, it's end of cycle. It's not a beginning. Beginning when you're not aware. But being aware is the end of the habit. And now we are coming to the point where I don't know what to do next. So we rather go into the things that we know. People don't know how to be present and how to be here and now. And they, in the beginning, they're not finding motivation in that. Even that's the best thing what we can do. We can start from small things that we are seeing in our life right now, and everything else will show up. And other version that we can do, what I'm teaching you in my program, is how to manifest what you want. And it's based on goals that we can achieve. I call them ABC goals. And this is what I learned from Bob Proctor. A goals are category of goals that you know how to get them. And most of the people are actually staying in that same category of, I know how to get that, and now I'm good. But that category always leaves you in a space of going back into old habits, because it doesn't give you excitement of, I don't know how to do it, and this is really, really, truly what I want. B goals are, I think that I know how to get it. So it goes with the logical steps, let's call it like that. I think that I need to contact the person, I think that I need to do that, I think that I can do that. And that's the category of B goals. And with that goals, you think that you know how to get it. And we have a C-type goals, and we always want to go to C-type goal. What it is something that you don't know how to get it, and you want it from a deepest point in your heart. What is that illogical thing, illogical step? What is that you're a little bit afraid and you don't know how to get it? And it goes into illogical, something when people are seeing you want that, they say you're crazy. It's not something that you see that it's now achievable. And this is what you want to go for. You want to aim for something beyond everything that you ever knew how to do. I want to give you a personal example. So when I was changing places, when I made the first step, I was never ever living abroad. And yes, I had a little bit of scarcity, but that was something that for me was illogical because I didn't know how to get it, and I didn't had idea about it. But I knew that I want to do something beyond that. And of course, in the meantime, you will investigate, you will read about it, you will do all the prep. And then you will apply it right now. You will do that action steps right now. So when you have a picture in your mind, what do you want? You have to be able to hold that picture with the will. So we are holding that picture with the will. And we are connecting emotion with that exact picture. That picture goes into our heart, goes into our universal mind with emotion. Because a lot of people, when breaking any cycle, we are not addicted about the things, we are chasing emotion, or we are running from emotion. And if you're balanced, and if you're clear, and if you know that something needs to be done in order for you to make that step, to push that forward, to live your own dream, you have to take massive action. So when your feeling is now translated into that universal mind, it starts to raising your frequency. And at that point, your vibration goes higher and higher. And at that point, your bad, let's call it like that, habitual actions are quitting you. You don't need to quit them anymore. They will quit you. And your body will start to move in that direction. And that's the point where you have to make huge and big action. Nothing ever will happen without you taking responsibility and making massive action. And this is how that gap can be fulfilled. Because you will start to be obsessed with that big thing, with that next thing, with that huge goal that you want to achieve. In your mind, you will see yourself as that person. And seeing yourself as that person will actually means knowing that that person is not addicted anymore to smoking, is not addicted anymore to alcohol, to food. And in the beginning, it can be challenging, but you have to replicate that exact person each moment that it's possible. And this is how you're creating, you're getting, you're being that new version of you. And it's the only way how that gap can actually be something, starts to be something who you really are. Without you being that right now, doing that action right now, nothing can change. And this is why our ultimate moment, our only moment, is here and now. I'm so grateful for you being here, and I believe that this video will really opens you in some other direction, giving you perspective on some other directions how you can look into your life. And with these actual applicable steps, you can change your life so you will not be able to recognize yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.